So I'm here with three of the people behind a film, a documentary film called Assault to Freedom, which is based on a book. The film is absolutely stunning, and I'll introduce you to Marcos, who is the producer of the film, and the writer.
No, I'm Ramon Garcia, the
Sorry.
producer.
Sorry.
Ramon Garcia, the producer.
Sorry.
And Marco Moreno,
Sorry.
he's the
Sorry. Let me start
director.
again. I'll start again. Don't
Okay.
want to cut that. Okay. So I'm here with the three of the people behind the film Assault to Freedom. I'm about to introduce you to Ramon Garcia,
Ramon Garcia.
producer, and the writer of the original material on which this film is based, the book on which this is based. And if you could introduce your
Okay.
fellows here and tell us the connection to the film, that would be wonderful.
Okay, Steve, thank you for your invitation. Like you say, I'm the producer of Assault to Freedom.
And congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much. And also, I'm here with the director, Mr. Marco Moreno. He's from Spain.
Hi, thank you,
Hello.
Steve.
And I met him in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
And also, a good friend of mine that we grew up together back home in Cuba since we went to school together, we played baseball together since we were a little kid. And his name is Orlando Cordobes.
Orlando. Okay.
Orlando.
Okay. And what is Orlando?
Orlando.
What is his connection to the film? Does he have a connection to this?
Sure he does. He was trying to escape with us. He was invited,
Yeah.
but the distance between our town and the place that we hijacked the ferry was too far. It was about 200 miles.
Right.
And what happened? He didn't show up that time, and then he's tried to do it after he find out about the success that we have. He was trying to do it by himself or the friend as well, by living by a small boat, and he got caught by the police service, and they put him in jail for 3 years.
And if you could just tell us what the film is actually about. What is this? Because this is quite a unique story in terms of its location, isn't it?
Yeah,
and I was quite surprised that I hadn't heard of this before. But if one of you could just explain.
Well, this happened in December 1963. I was 19 years old at that time, and this was the first hijack ever made in history in Cuba by success. We used force to gain freedom, and we were very lucky that we done it. We did the assault between myself and four other friends. We were all of us. We were on the 22, and the reason why we were so excited to leave the island, no matter what, is because we were supposed to do military service in the system, and they knew we were not in favor of the system because, number one, I'm come with middle class family. My father was a small businessman. He owned two trucks. We don't come from the rich family. Middle class guy. His business was buying produce from the owner of the farmers and resell the produce to the terminal market in our town, also in Havana. I'm from a small town in Cuba, in Oriente. They call it Banes, B-A-N-E-S, Banes Oriente, Cuba, which is about, I would say, it's about 300 miles from Guantanamo Bay.
Don't worry about the noise. It won't be picked up the microphone. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
I'm intrigued to ask because was Castro invited with open arms or not? So when Castro came into Cuba, because let's be honest, this isn't long after Castro took over. Was Castro popular in the beginning or not really?
In the beginning, he was, I would say, 9% popular.
90.
Everybody loved him because he fought against the system that was a dictator, and nobody wanted. The majority was against that. So my father, one of them, he was one of them that would support him. He didn't fight for him, but he was in his favor.
He was in favour of him.
He was in his favor.
So when did it start to change, though?
A year after he took over, he started changing, like in the first two years, a year and a half, 2 years,
Yeah.
when he said nobody's allowed to do any more business, everything going to be controlled by the government, and we all going to be equals, no more
Communism's rearing here.
Yeah. Offering things that never happens, and where the first thing they did, they started taking big business from the for the rich people, like big farms. But then they went after the middle class people, like Like my father, the only thing that he was buying, he got his own truck, like buying this produce, and they did that to him. Also, most of the people, the business the Cubans stop because when the first thing they do, they throw away the United States from Cuba. I mean, the oil company like Exxon, Shell, and also they were one of the biggest. The United States used to own the bigger plantation, sugarcane plantation.
Yeah.
Actually, I say everything. I would say like a 50% of the island was controlled by United States. But they were investing money. They were giving jobs to the Cuban people. So the first thing what the communists did, Castro did, throw away the communists away from there. I mean, the Cuban away from there. I mean, I'm sorry, the American.
Right.
And as you see, and the economy stopped completely, and people start complaining because they were one of our best support in the United States in exporting products to Cuba.
So all the money dried up.
Exactly, the money dried up. At that time, the money was the American money. The United States dollar was same price, same value as the Cuban peso. So the first thing Castro did took off to change the money to his own money.
Yeah, devalued it.
And devaluate the whole thing.
Yeah.
And the first thing, my father was a small businessman, like I say. He owned 2 trucks, and he has a small warehouse where he was keeping the produce. So they went there, they took his key from the truck. He said, now everything is belong to the government, and we are even. So we have to confiscate everything you have because we're not allowed to let anybody be in business by themselves.
And how did, as I explained earlier, very quickly, you actually wrote a book about your escape from Cuba.
Yes.
But how did
3 times? That's why this documentary happened, because the book is about my life. It's only 3 times free. How the book was wrote is in Amazon for sale. I have one in my room. I forgot to bring it over to you.
How did you remember it all? Did you write it all down? Was this from a diary?
That's what I remember all that.
You remember it all?
It's something that is going to die with you. It's
I know
something
that, even so, that's incredible.
When you went through, when you go through in your life, how you reach your life, searching for freedom, you have to remember all that. And it's something, this book is basically because I got married in New York City in 1970. My wife is from Cuba as well. We knew each other from back home. And we have 2 daughters and a son. My oldest daughter is 45, my youngest daughter is 40, and my son is 36.
And was that policy true, that if you could get out of Cuba into America, they would welcome you? Was that true, or was that a myth?
The United States welcoming us?
So you escaped, got to the US, and I was under the impression that if you get to the US from Cuba, you would be welcomed. Is that true?
We were so pleased. We were proud of being here. When we came to the United States, like come back to the real life, be in paradise. Back home,
they literally welcomed you with open arms.
We felt like a slave. I mean, we felt like a slave in Cuba. We were free, we felt like a paradise, being in paradise here again. Although my English I didn't speak no English at all. My first job was this watching here. I was washing dishes in the Miami hotel. And I went to Washington.
You didn't care?
I didn't care. I was so proud to be here because at that time I was making $45 per month. And then 2 months after, I moved to Washington, D.C. in February 5th, 1944. At that time, I was 20 years old. I moved in my birthday time. So I started working as a busboy in the hotel because I was single, I have free meals. And then I learned the little English, the working English, and then I went to work as a waiter. I went to work as a waiter at the Washington Hilton Hotel in 1965, and then in 1966, I brought all my family from Cuba, 9 altogether. My father, my mother, and my 4 sisters, my brother-in-law, all my family, 9 altogether. At that time, I have $3,000 in my saving account. I ran an apartment for them, 3 bedroom. I sent all my sisters. They were younger at that time. They were 13 and 14. and and my younger brother at that time was 15 years younger than me, so he was 6. And my
And they all
oldest,
joined you?
eh?
They all came?
All came. Who came? All the whole family.
The
My
whole family
4
came?
sisters, my younger brother, my mother and father, my brother, and my brother-in-law, and my nephew.
Right.
My oldest sister was 4.5 years older than me. So the first thing, my sister was a chemistry engineer in chemistry, and my son and my brother-in-law he was a engineer, mechanical engineer. So he started working as a draftsman,
So
although his English wasn't bad.
But he was gifted. He could do
yes,
that.
a gift. Well, at that time, there wasn't money involved. Everything was controlled by the government, and you have to accept whatever they give you, and also you have to do what they please, and they want you to work for free. Like, for example, the communists, when I was in the school, I was studying business administration because my dream was to be by my father. My father was a businessman, so I wanted to be like him. And I was so proud to be with him. So when the communists took the only 2 trucks they have to feed us, was like breaking my heart. I was so depressed. I didn't know what to do because my dream was stealing from them, was robbed. So I felt like a slave, and I saw everything. Everything started getting short. We were making line to buy something, and the government started controlling the whole thing, and they force people to work for them or for whatever they want because they could control the whole thing. You are not allowed to have business.
So when you got on the boat to escape, how many of there were you, and how did you feel? How scared were you as you were making that crossing? We'll start, because I guess once you're away from Cuba, you're kind of thinking, we're away, it's going to be difficult to catch us now.
We
But
got
you
a
must have been heart racing.
We got a plan that I think I was more afraid to stay in Cuba than what I did.
Right.
I was more afraid because I was facing military service, and the communists used to call me, do you worms, why you don't leave the island? I said, why you want me to leave the island if you don't let me out? And I remember one time I have it with a friend, and they used to call me worms, you piece of worms, leave the country. And I told them because I knew most of them because they were kids, and we come from a small town. Everybody knew each other, and they called me and said, I better be worms in the garden of John F. Kennedy than be a tick in the ear of the horse. And they start fighting with us, and they put us in jail, and that's why I left the island. I went to MOA. It's a nickel to work as in office in 1962 to work in the office as an accounting office in MOA, because I have my past, my document from the school that I was talking, that I was in the studying business administration, and I was studying by accounting. I had 3 years in college. I did 2 years in one. So I left my city because the comedy was bothering me all the time, and there was no hope in our life, because I was like being in jail. Cuba is like being in jail because everything is goes wrong for the government. It's like it's an island full of water, and the water is full of shark, and the shark is
the guardians.
It's like the guard. It's like the guard of the communists, and then they bothers me. They bothers you, and they want to know whatever you do in your life. When I went to MOA, nobody knew me. I applied for a job, and they gave it to me because they closed our school in our city. Our city was closed, and so that's why I went to work. And with the hope we'll leave the island someday.
And how did, forgive me, I think you've explained this about Orlando. He tried to escape, or he heard about your story inspired him, is that correct?
Yeah.
And how did Orlando hear about your story?
I went to we hijacked the ferry with 1 pistol and 4 knives.
Right.
We used force to gain freedom. That was the only way to escape. This ferry, a small boat, they were going from the city of MOA, M-O-A. It's a nickel company. We were employees there. We have a pass, and we have documentation that we work full time in the mine for the company. And then I met people in similar situation that I was. And one day I share with them. The airplane passed through the air, and we were on the beach together. And I said to this guy from different town that I met in there, "Do you think you will like to hijack that plane and leave this island?" And he looked at me. "If you do, I will too." And then we will start talking, because all of a sudden we start talking about that because of that plane came around my head.
And then eventually, obviously, led to a boat, of course.
And then his girlfriend, we used to fly in that plane every month from Moa to her city, which was Preston, was another small town, very popular because they used to have a sugar factory there, you know, in Preston. They call it Central Preston. All the sugar cane used to milk, and it's a big process with the sugar cane in Preston. So I used to go. She was working at that. I met her too. She was her girlfriend. So she went to say, "Well, my brother has a pistol. Maybe he want to come with us."
Right.
And that's where we start. But when she came back, he said, "Forget about the plane. It's a guard with the big machine gun protecting the plane against somebody, against whatever they call it, a hijack or something like that, whatever." So I was working that day, and I saw those ferries, small ferry boat. It's a transportation boat from Moa to Baracoa. Baracoa is a city which is about 4 hours in that boat.
It's very close with Guantanamo.
Baracoa is a
close.
city close to. I would say it's about 100 miles, right? 50, yeah, somewhere around there.
But how does Orlando fit into? Because you escaped.
Prior to that, when we were trying to hijack the ferry, the boat that fit about 80 people, I went to my hometown searching for my friend to see if they want to come with us.
That's Orlando.
Orlando, I didn't meet Orlando, but I was his friend.
Right.
I knew Orlando, and I met his friend.
Right.
I told them, "You have to be there the 19th. We want to set the plan, and you got to be there because we have everything set up." It was a perfect time to do it because it was during Christmas
so
time.
it's quiet.
Everybody was allowed, so we have a pass to do so. To do that in our every time you leave the bay, they give a pass for you to like a permit to do it, like if you were in the service, and we were free to go wherever we want, and that's how we start.
Right.
So Orlando was supposed to come with my friend, but they didn't show up.
Right. So, but then you got off. You got out.
We got out. Then we went to Baracoa. We flew from Moa to Baracoa the 17th of December. First, we make like expedition to see how the system worked, you know. And then we got become a friend with the owner of the boat. His name was Mario. There were three boats altogether. I forgot the names of the other two, but it was like Conchita. So we decided to go with Mario because Mario was very friendly. We have beer together. We were 19. We wanted to be to Baracoa. We tell them, you know, there are no women here. We wanted to meet some girls and have some good time.
What's the distance between Cuba and Florida? I guess it's
90 miles.
90 miles. And how long did the
90
trip take?
Well, we don't forget.
I know you're not
The distance from Oriente to Havana.
From Baracoa to Havana is 536 miles.
536 miles.
500, right.
Miles. So from Baracoa.
From Baracoa to Havana.
Which is about the same distance like from Banes, which is our city,
Yeah.
to Havana, right? Orlando?
So
Habana, Cayo Hueso es la distancia más corta, son 90 millas.
Yeah, but Cayo West to Havana is the shortest. This is the shortest distance, which is 90 miles. But we talk about from Banes, our town, to Havana is like 550, right?
So Orlando gets
No
out.
tanto.
Orlando, did he got out later?
Yeah, he was.
Three
was
times.
invited.
He tried 3 times, was it? Did he
3
say-
years. When
Right.
he tried to escape by himself with other friends from our small town, he got caught and with other friends, and they gave him 3 years in prison. They gave him ¿Cómo te cogieron a ti? Por cuando tú trataste de escaparte, ¿cuántos venían contigo? El grupo tuyo.
Antes de esa vez hubo dos intentos anteriores a eso.
Prior to that, he tried to do it 2 times.
De tratar de salir para ahí.
Oh my God.
En el tercer intento éramos 8 personas que estábamos tratando de salir al mismo tiempo.
At that time, there were 8 people altogether. See what happened when they saw our success, when we escaped.
It inspired them.
You imagine how you felt
Yeah.
being in that country full of, being a slave there. You have to be controlled.
And then
by
they
that.
heard of your story and they're like, oh,
And no hope. So it's like to them it's like giving the combination key how to leave the island. Because the reason our goal was to find a ship to help us. Because from up to the mountain at night time you could see the lights of the big ship from distance, from Oriente, from Moa to the ocean, which is close to Haiti and Dominican Republic.
yeah, yeah.
Like that area, you could see the lights. So that's and then we see the boat passing by. Say, our goal is to find a ship to help us, because if they know we hijacked the ferry, they're going to search us maybe they're going to search for us in Guantanamo Bay area, and it's too risky. But when the idea was to when the boat passed from Moa to Baracoa, they were crossing boats. They were 3 altogether, remember? So we decided to hijack the ferry boat from Moa, from Baracoa, because when we become a friend of the owner, I questioned him, how you get diesel here? You flew here. I don't see nothing here. Simple question, have a beer? He said, no, they give us enough fluid, enough diesel to give us for 10 hours, which is the distance from Baracoa to Moa, and to Moa from Baracoa, which is 8 hours distance. So he got 10 hours fluid, diesel, enough for us to do what we did. And that's why we decided to hijack the boat in Baracoa and not in Moa. But the idea was waiting for the ship who left Moa to Baracoa and crossing through us.
Right.
And then with that ship passing us, going to Baracoa, and they asked about us, he said, hey, they're doing fine, nothing wrong with that. So by that time, we were gaining about 6-7 hours, which is all we need to be in the what you call out of very far away from the island.
And how did you connect to Marcos? How did it happen? How did you come across the story?
Well, 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
3 years ago, I met with Ramon,
Yeah.
and he told me about his story.
A book.
So the book had been released.
Yeah,
by
I told
then.
my release.
Yeah.
I have my book. It was released.
Yeah.
My release was released 4 years ago. By the way, I forgot to bring yours. I gotta go
that's
get it.
all right, that's all right.
Yes.
I'd like to read it.
I want to show it to the people to see.
I'd
the
like
movie.
to see it.
Thank you.
And we work in the documentary, and
Sorry, what I'm trying to get at is, had you met him before? I mean, how did the meet happen? How did you actually meet up?
¿Cómo tú me conociste?
with a friend.
Oh, so it's just a mutual
Yes,
friend introduced
yes,
you,
yes.
and you were already a documentary maker.
Sorry.
You had already made films before this, or
Yes.
not?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
You did
But
film
fiction,
before.
only
Yeah.
fiction. My last word is fiction. It's the first documentary.
Right.
It's a documentary, and his history was very
Emotional
emotional
for him.
to me. And the first, I went to Cuba to research.
And how easy is it to fly to and from Cuba now? Is it very easy to do that or not?
Entering Cuba,
Yeah.
in summer is very difficult.
Even now?
Yeah,
Even
he
now.
went 4 years ago.
Years ago, I was 3 hours with police
No.
for my camera, because I was with my Black Magic, and I was 3 years with
And they went through it all.
3 hours with police in the airport,
And what about Ramon? Can you go back to Cuba? Have you been back to Cuba?
I went back to Cuba in 1999.
Well,
With
oh,
my
because you have an
wife.
American passport.
I,
by the
got,
way.
I have an American, been American, thank God, American citizen since 1975.
So having an American passport, they can't really touch
I'm
you.
an
can
American citizen. See what happened at that time when we came to America, to the United States of America, we have they calling a little they call it parole, which is a permit to work.
Right.
And I think I could become like an American citizen if I want 5 years after that.
Right.
But I didn't want to become a permanent resident because at that time was a war between the United States and Vietnam. And the Cuban friends in Miami told me, do not become American permanent resident because they're going to send us to Vietnam. We have nothing to do with the Chinese. We want to go and fight in Cuba. Which
So
is
what
our
you
land.
might have been conscripted, and is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they give us permit to work. They call it parole in the United States.
Yeah.
I don't have to. They don't bother me like for army to go into service until I become permanent resident.
Right. Once you become permanent resident, then you're meant to do national service.
and
Right.
then
So you
have
avoided
like
it. Right.
And they wanted to do it because I was waiting till the war gets over, and then I become American citizen.
Right. So you're in Cuba.
But he went to Cuba after we made a contract.
Yeah.
So he read my book.
Lots of Okay.
And
we-
then I gave him, we made a deal in prices. I gave him a down payment. We signed a contract. And he went to Cuba to investigate if what I said was true.
Right.
So he went to the city where we hijacked the ferry. And then he went to Moa. He met people. He met a guy that they call the machine worker, the engineer of the boat.
And,
Was there.
and I found the son of Mario.
I find the family of Mario. Mario was the owner of the ship, of the ferry, or the boat that we hijacked.
So
He was-
and he presumably he confirmed it.
Oh, he confirmed it, and not just that, they help us in our.
Brilliant.
But they help us. They only do is confess exactly what happened. That's the only thing, and that's what they helping us by telling the truth of what we have done to his father. We destroyed his father's life by doing that. But I said to them, look, same thing the communists did to my father by taking his little truck away from him and making him work for him for 3 pesos per day if he wants to, we do it to him. Same thing will happen to him because nobody's allowed to do business, to have business there. Sooner or later, he's going to take this boat away.
Yeah,
And with the same thing they
It's
did now.
inevitable. isn't
Okay,
it?
but-
It's inevitable.
But
It's in general.
after hijack, Mario, boat owner, when he returned, he come back to Cuba. He was 3 years in jail.
They put him in jail for 3 years in Cuba because of what we done to him.
They put him in jail.
They put him in jail.
But he was hijacked.
He was exactly, but that's the way they act. He was supposed to fight for the revolution, maybe, to kill for the revolution, maybe, or to die for the revolution. A revolution that have nothing to offer. You know, you go to Cuba now and you see the higher salary for a doctor at that time when I went in 1999, which is my cousin was a director of the city of the hospital, making $25 per month.
Oh,
Nope, at that time. I think they raised up the salary now for $60 per month. How can you convince people to love you and like you if you treat them like that, like a slave? You know, it's impossible. See, I'm a chaplain, Prince George County Department of Correction for 15 years. A time that I donate as a Christian. I'm a Christian, and I don't talk about religion. I'm talking about personal relationship with God. That's what I do. And I've been doing that for 15 years because the Bible says, well, you could do good things and you don't do it's a sin. If you could help somebody, if you know how to help somebody, you don't do it, you're committing a sin. S-I-N, sin. So I've started doing that as a Christian ministry. Like I say, like I preach with the inmate, that Christianity is not a religion. Christianity is a personal relationship between you and Jesus Christ. And I share the good news about Jesus Christ. Jesus said, I am the way and the truth and the life, and nobody goes to the Father except through me. And he said, it's only one mediator between the God and the man, Jesus Christ. And that's why I share the good news, the gospel of Jesus Christ. I share the Bible. So I feel good doing that. I enjoy do it. It's a time that I donate. I'm 73. I'm retired. I'm a businessman. I'm a gemologist. That's what I do for a living. How I become a gemologist, how I become a jeweler, is because when I was a waiter at the Washington Hilton Hotel, which is in the book, I was selling gold jewelry at that time to my co-workers. The Washington Hilton Hotel had, at that time, in 1965, about 300 employees, and I was a waiter there. I was a banquet waiter. So I was selling jewelry to my co-workers, 18 karat gold.
Nice.
I started doing that from 1977 till 1967 to 1970. I established in 1971 with a factory, Silver Spring Jewelry Manufacturing, by myself. Now we have 3 factories. We have close to 25 people, and my kids running the business.
Lovely.
And what I share is the good news. This is the land of opportunity. If you could do, if you want to. If you want to do the wrong thing, jail is waiting for you.
Oh,
If you want to be involved in drugs, death is waiting for you. One thing I share with the inmates, we're all imperfect. We all make mistakes. I think I have made so much mistake in life,
so have I.
and all I got to do, or what I share with the inmate, the good news. We're all imperfect. Only one perfect. God is perfect. God said because we all sinner, we all run away. We are all away from God, from God. But the Bible says also, Jesus said, but good God proved His love to all of us, that although we all sinner, Jesus died for us. So what I do, not to me, I have repent, and that's what I
Soul
tell
to
you.
Freedom is his new son.
Very good. And when did Orlando actually escape? What year did he get out?
What year you got up? ¿En qué año viniste para Estados Unidos? ¿En qué año viniste?
1980.
1980.
So that's quite a long time after you.
He did 3 years in prison. He did 3 years in concentration camp in Cuba.
So another 17 years before he got out.
He saw people.
And how did you get out, Orlando? Was it by boat?
¿Cómo te escapaste? ¿Cómo viniste?
Cuando el Mariel
The Mariel, he came over
me
as
fueron a buscar a la casa.
he came over because how do you call a political refugee?
But how did he get out of Cuba?
The Cuban kick him out. They let him out.
They let him out.
They let him out. No, every one of them. Some of them. He was one of them. After the time, he let him out because there were too many people against the system, and they let him out. All those people who did time in jail because they were trying to leave the island.
And where did they send him to? America?
Yeah, they come from. He's an American citizen.
La policía del gobierno nos fue a buscar a la casa y nos dijo que teníamos que ir. Si queríamos ir,
¿Cuál
nosotros-
motivo? ¿Por qué motivo? Porque ellos saben que tú.
Porque yo era un desafecto al sistema y querían eliminar.
At that time, he was home. He did his 3 years in prison, and they went to him, the military army. The army went to him and said they offered him to leave the whole country if they want to, because they knew was a troublemaker for the count.
Yeah.
He wanted to be a troublemaker for the system.
And he just going
So
to
he
go.
tried to leave all those troublemakers like him, and many like him, who survived, because he in that movie, if you saw the movie, he saw when they execute
Yeah,
more
I
than
know,
30
yeah.
people,
Yeah, I know.
and he claimed and said, how could you, when they came to him and said, if you see my family, tell them so, send them this, telling I love them. And the answer, what could you tell to the mother or somebody who been killed by or assassinated or by the system? He can find no words to do that, because it's real hurt, it's real sad what's going on, what's happening there, and this I want the whole world to see this. I invest my money, I have the money. We don't owe anybody. Everything can come from my pocket. I have my money because I've been working so long. But this is my dream come true, that the life come true. everything. See, if you see the history in Cuba, when Castro changed his and betrayed the Cuban, when Castro betrayed the Cuban, the first thing he did, put the newspaper reporter out of the country and destroy their camera, and the guys who were complaining put them in jail. I execute them if they,
I know.
if they,
Yo
if
creo
they
que
change.
yo creo que es bueno que le diga que aparte de que nos fueron a buscar a la casa y dijeron que teníamos que abandonar el país, había que entregar la casa como mueblada con todo y todo lo que había en el banco y todo lo que estaba donde quiera. Ellos se quedaban con todo.
The
Sí,
condition the
menos eso.
Castro regime offered him, I will let you, we're going to let you go out of the country, but you have to leave everything in this house.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
They give him, how many clothes they give you?
¿Ah?
¿Cuánta ropa te dieron a ti? ¿Cuántas mudas de ropa te dejaron sacar?
Nada, una, la que traía puesta.
They only let him out with the clothes
Clothes
they
on
have.
his back.
Everything was there.
That's
House
to leave everything
complete,
behind.
completely. Money in the bank, whatever he has in the bank have to be there. They confiscate everything like they did in my house. When I brought my father, 9 altogether, my father left his house and they went there to count how many silver, how many forks, how many pantyhose my mother has or my sister has, because she was allowed to live only with 2 sets and 1 pair of shoes. Everything remained in the country, in the system. Imagine that. People don't know what it is. People, I'm a chaplain, like I said, live better in jail in the United States than Cuba free in Cuba. People are losing Cuba. Are worse than those people. I see them every Sunday and I spend there with them 3 or 4 hours, 2 hours. You know why? Because in jail they have 3 meals per day. They do exercise. They have TB. If you get sick, they have a doctor like that. It's a hospital in jail. I've been in about 20 different jails in the United States, and they all act the same ways. People get, no matter what, they get taken care of. They give meals.
Yeah, yeah.
They give a hospital. It's a hospital there. You're sick, operation, whatever you need is there. Sometimes the homeless people don't want to go. They do everything to be in jail during the winter time because they're in the street and they want to,
It's paid for, yeah.
they have everything they want. They have there. So
Right.
it's amazing. And like I said, the way to describe the difference between Cuba and the prison that I go, which is Prince County, Department of Correction of Prince County, Maryland. Prince County, Maryland. Department of Correction of Maryland. That's where I go. I have my pass of 15 years, and I'm pretty sure the Cuban people would love to be in jail than in Cuba, searching for meal that they lack if they get 1 per day. You talk, see, it's amazing the profession, how many people, professional people are working as a waiter, driving taxi if they could, do whatever they want for them to be able to gain $1 to eat, because what could you do for $10-20 per month? I support a lot of families from here, and I have an aunt. She's 2 aunts. They have 92. Their pension money is $4 per month.
Oh,
$4 per month. How could you?
you can't.
Rice and bean. They only see meat when they buy meat, and they have to buy with dollars. See, when you go there, you see everybody in the street. Cuba has about 11 million people. Out of 11 million people, maybe 5%, 10% live good because those are the terrorists protecting the system,
Yeah.
doing that.
Everyone
like
else.
a bodyguard,
Everyone else.
Everyone desperate. Do you imagine? He went to Cuba and he met this guy, good, nice people with 2 daughters, about 18, they're twins, and he offered, take my 2 daughters for you, take it with you from me. I don't want them to live here. It's nothing. They have nothing. They have. It's amazing. Sometimes they're forced to prostitute their own family because it's the only way to gain
Get money.
The peso doesn't worth anything. The highest salary I heard now is $60. Why could you? Do you imagine what they do? Because I know what's happening. If you want to build England or here in Spain, want to build a hotel in Cuba, The communist system tells you, you have to hire my engineer, you have to
Yeah.
hire my carpenter, you have to hire my architect, you have to hire my plumber, but you have to pay me. You have to pay me in dollars
Dollars, yeah.
or in euros, and I will pay the Cuban. When he pay the Cuban, he pay them in peso, which is the salary is no more than you like if you hit $40 in the whole month working as a carpenter and doing all that work. So everything is controlled by them. When I went there in 1999, I made those people who sell statues in the corner, figurine, all that, all those nice figurine, for decoration, which is very popular. And I went there to interview this guy, and this guy them, because I bought some, figurine from them, and I asked them, how you make this? Yes, I make this myself. How you find the material? How you find the material? Well, I got to buy it from the government. Okay, and how you do? They give you what they do. Well, they give me the space right here to sell all whatever I make. All the statues and all that I make, all those things. And what happened? Well, how you get paid to the government? You have to buy the material for the government, and then what? And then what happened? Well, for example, if those material that I need to make all those statues, all those figurines that I make, I sell it for $300. I have to give the government half of what I sell. What? I say, what? So you buy the material for $100 and you sell it for $300. Maybe take a month for you to do all those work, and you sell what you have in 1 month for $300. All those things, and on top of that, you got to give him $150. And you call good? Do you think it's fair?
No, I think it's absolutely disgusting.
See, here in Spain, everybody begging for money, collect maybe 5 euro per day, 10 euro per day. In Cuba, the professional guy make $20 per month.
That's
So,
terrible.
Unbelievable. Do you think it's
No.
you think that is fair to?
No, of course not.
Those are. I don't know how they could sleep at night. How could they eat? Because I went there, I spent 2 weeks. I had my family waiting for me. I was in the hotel. I have everything I want. I have everything I want. Open bar, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, coffee, whatever you want, 24 hours. So how could I eat? I went there. I had my family waiting for me. They were not allowed to come with him to the hotel where I was. They said, I have dollars. I want them to come. They said, oh, this is only for guests from people from out of the country. This is not
From
for
America,
Cuba.
yeah.
For American, whatever, Canadian, everybody but Cuban.
Cuban.
Yeah.
Guys, that's it, I'm afraid. Got to wrap it up. But thank you very, very